Well, motherfucking well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It's a lovely Thursday morning over here from a frigidly cold Helsinki, Finland. As always, want to wish you the best, and the happiest. We have plenty to talk about on the higher term timeframes, also a little bit on the short term timeframes as well, and major markets all kind of moving in the early morning hours. So there's actually a lot going on around the world. And my God, man, I see Derek back in the house. Fucking nice, man. I see Hosea fam. Fuck yeah. It's always awesome for me to see the people who have been here for the last few years. Nimbo, my fucking man. 420. Holy shit, Mr. Miguel himself. Absolutely fucking love it, man. Anyways, let's get into the Krown chain application over here because we have no time to waste to be wasting today. And more importantly, as I peruse the chats, hey, what's up, Mr. Eklund? What's hilarious to me is that some people are treating this intro like some sort of a disgusting rave, taking all sorts of naughty pills and whatnot, party-enhancing drugs, you might call them. Anyways, with that in mind, putting the folks over here in the Krown chain application, there actually is plenty to talk about today. We do see once again open interest moving up a little bit with price action, more importantly testing the top side of the long-term range and kind of hovering right below that 10 million open interest, or sorry, not 10 million, but 10 billion, that is, with a B. And more importantly, that does suggest that yes, Bitcoin more or less healthy on the whole. Higher term timeframes, all higher term timeframes, as we have been saying for the past I don't know, few months, just straight up bullish. And with that said, lower term timeframes, well, maybe a bit of a mediation to that, which we'll get into soon enough, but more or less, things are looking good across the board as we do see Bitcoin dominance spruce back up as well as Bitcoin does test the top side of the long-term range. So it does suggest that when Bitcoin, or if and when Bitcoin does get going, we have seen the base at about 60% for the Bitcoin dominance. And I would be looking at that as the next major base scenario, so to speak. Anyways, on top of that, we do see fear and greed index kind of holding at a 73. So the market isn't really getting super optimistic as Bitcoin once again tests the prior all-time high, which I would say is, more or less of a healthy thing, as you don't really want to be in the extremely greedy zone, which we have seen especially above the 90 read for Bitcoin in the past on these runs. So when it is kind of reapproaching the prior all-time high, it is interesting to see that the market is less optimistic than what we saw even just a month ago when Bitcoin was right around the same price level. On top of that, we do see plenty to talk about with the top 10 coins and the top worst coins, of which that is that is just fucking insane, man. Theta Fuel, what the hell is this thing? Don't know. What does it do? Absolutely no fucking clue. Is there a working product? Doesn't matter. Is it up 50%? You're goddamn right it is. Jesus Christ, man, this market is the best. Anyways, basic attention token. Hey, we looked at that one yesterday. Remember that? I'm seeing a lot of 2017 shitcoins here. Bitcoin Gold, holy, even that one's joining the rally too. And MCO, Zcash having a bit of a day. Not much, but that's one of the most straight down charts I've seen in a long time. And top 10 worst coins. Who's topping this list right now? Avalanche. Never heard of it. Nem. I do remember that one. Do you remember Nem blockchain? You're a true OG of the cave. If you remember Nem blockchain from way fucking back in the day. But other than that, not really too much there. And we can go into the market data tab over here. And I do want to match up more importantly with the open interest chart with the price action chart. And what's very interesting right here to me, to use a bad alliteration, is more importantly the fact that open interest actually made a new all-time high into that 10 billion marker. It quite literally actually did tick there last night, it looks like, while price action made a lower high. So we do have a bit of divergence going on right now. And what does that suggest? It suggests that people are putting on more positions while Bitcoin price action is essentially putting in, well, what would be a lower price high right now. But that does support further upside momentum as the higher term timeframes take over. Now, short term timeframes, could we play out a pullback? Well, kind of the similar thing as yesterday. It's it's definitely a possibility. We'll overlay kind of targets for that. However, at the end of the day, I want to be very, very clear and decisive that higher term timeframes looking more or less good here. Anyways, on top of that, we do see that the funny rate is actually right around the threshold, not above the threshold, but right around it. I want to dig into the minutia here and see exactly what we're yes. Okay, so this is actually a little bit concerning right here. We see Bybit well above 0.2% actually, FTX above 0.139, and Binance above 0.112. Now that technically is 3 exchanges right there. Now obviously this has not been going on for all that long. So if we do see this perpetuated for the next I don't know, 2 days, 48 hours at the very least, maybe even 72 hours, then I would be a little bit more cognizant of a potential high being put in the more proximal future for Bitcoin. But more or less that could play into a little bit of a short-term pullback narrative as we do see those reset a little bit more. But they have been trending up once again as Bitcoin does approach the prior all-time high. So the market is getting a little bit frothy. So while I do think that Bitcoin is bullish on all higher term timeframes, it is going to be a little bit of a ticking time bomb, so to speak, long term. Anyways, as far as the total market cap goes, I do think that it is worth mentioning right here that the total market cap with just altcoins has actually made new all-time highs on this one, whereas the total market cap, including everything, Bitcoin plus altcoins, has actually not made a new all-time high, which is rather interesting. So altcoins are starting to take over, and again, that still plays into the narrative that we have been looking at for the last couple of months now, that altcoins are bifurcating from themselves. We see all of the not all of the shitcoins, but we see like the shitcoins from 2017, the ones that really deserve no praise at all, really differentiating themselves from the newer crop of DeFi coins, which have been absolutely on fire. And then of course there are some still from 2017 in the past prior areas, very, very small amount, but they are actually joining those same rallies as well. So we are starting to see this market mature, and I think that's a really, really good thing long term. But that also means that if you're not in the right altcoins, probably gonna be having the best time, I imagine. Anyways, with that said, let's go to our secondary charts right now. Let's see what we got back on over here. There we fucking go. Word T fuel. Is T fuel in here? What the fuck? There it is. Anyways, goddamn, more Nerf party. There you go, Beanie Squad. Anyways, looking at this right here, yes, weekly still looking good to me. We did kind of test the topside Toronto band. Also, our last sort of weekly high open and close, right around the $57,500 marker, that is. And more importantly, we are seeing this accompanied by several bullish signals on all of our momentum oscillators down here as well. DMI plus very much dominant, getting a positive slope once again. ADX strengthening, good. This is, by the way, on the weekly. And then of course the MACD histogram also increasing in its signature as well. So I do like both of these things kind of combined together, but we're not really seeing anything like too out of the ordinary here from the weekly that we already haven't seen. What I do want to focus on is the daily, 2-day, and 3-day, because these ones are telling quite the story right now. Anyways, most importantly, we have been following up on this for like the last 3-4 days now. We did see the bullish cross on the daily MACD right here. More importantly, that is accompanied by a break of the 27th moving average. So that was also breaking the medium-term time frames highs. So that is accompanied. So that is a break of structure accompanied by momentum shift. And on top of that, we even do have for a long-term hidden bullish divergence between the MACD histogram lows right here. Massively lower lows on histogram versus massively higher lows on price action. Good. So I do remain overall bullish to that. Also, ADX DMI having a very, 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 very nice signal right here, as we have seen in the past throughout this run. This is very similar to what we've seen in February, which precipitated this whole run from about $35,000 to, well, the current high of $58,000. And the time before that, we saw this back on over here from this $20,000 base before breaking out to about $42,000. So we're talking about big moves based upon these. And the time before that was coming out of this $10,000 or $11,000 base right here before nearly a 2x all the way to $20,000. In fact, are all these about a 2x on price action? Oh, hold on. We actually have this one over here as well. This one a lot less of a result, however, from about 9,000 to, well, 12,500, which is still a pretty fucking massive move, to be fair. But I suspect in this market, when things are getting more and more aggressive, that's less impressive to people, especially when Bitcoin's trading nearly just under $60,000 in its totality. So with all of that in mind, I mean, these have been some pretty damn good signals, and more importantly, they have been really getting some pretty massive moves as well, you might say. So, would I still be bullish on the higher term timeframes here? Yes, very much so, and we can talk about target C upside soon enough, but I do want to get through this a little bit more. Also want to mention, of course, the interplay between the green, or sorry, it's not necessarily green, but it's like a cyan 55 exponential average right here in the bottom side Toronto band, of which I don't want to go through the full explanation, because this is like, probably already fucking know by now, because we've been doing this for like the last 3-4 days especially, but anytime that we have seen it cross to the downside, always, we have seen a test at the very least to the bottom side Toronto band. And then more importantly, when we cross it to the upside, the 55 crossing above the bottom side Toronto band, well, that is your continuation phase right here as well, alongside breaking above the 20 simple. If those two things are present with each other, well, this is, well, what leads into this breakout right here. That's what leads into this breakout over here, and several times in the market cycles before. So looking at this right now, we actually did get that bullish cross once again after getting the test down here. Boom, there's your test of the bottom side Toronto band. And once again, off to the races. So whenever we have seen this signal, it is worth mentioning that Bitcoin really actually gets going pretty much around that time. Yes, you do see a few sort of consolidation days. However, those are all continuation on rising wick formats. So, I mean, it's just more or less continuation is what it does imply. Now, this could be also brought into the 2-day and 3-day as well, of which I believe we just closed a 3-day last night, and we are closing a 2-day tonight. And what I would say, the next sort of, piece of the puzzle, or the next sort of brick in this road, if you want to call it that, would be the 2-day MACD. I want to see this one get a bullish cross right here as well. You can already even visualize a trend line coming in from these last few lows, or a little bit more of a regression right here. More importantly, we do see that on price action, this is going to be accompanied by an ADX DMI bullish signal as well. So, this one will be confirmed later tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time, assuming that Bitcoin just doesn't go back down below, let's call it like 53 or 52,500 bucks. So it's looking pretty damn good right now, and that would imply, further tests to the upside. Of course, the topside Toronto band on the 2-day is going to be a natural, like short-term, medium-term target. That's right above 60,000 bucks, which would be rather fucking impressive. On top of that, we do see the 3-day, which did close yesterday night, is essentially just having fall through on top of that as well. So all higher term time frames still remain bullish. Wouldn't mind a move back down to about 53 or 52,500 bucks. Certainly not out of the question, but ultimately I would be looking for this one to take another leg up over the long period of time. You can even see that 3-day MACD just had a bullish reset right here. Didn't even get a bearish cross in that last downside, and ADX DMI is also having a nice, nice continuation on this as well. So all of this is looking pretty damn good to me on the long term. Still looking for essentially more upside price action, and of course, what are going to be the upside trajectory targets? Well, several going on right here. Sorry, several things going on right here. So first and foremost, a lot of people have been asking me, why am I looking at this as a cup and handle? Technically speaking, well, I mean, it actually does kind of work out as well. To be fair, you do have your handle right here, but more importantly, this is a reaccumulation, which is what that sort of a formation is, and that's what I focus on a lot more. Is not necessarily the name of these patterns, because I've seen every fucking pattern break out every goddamn which way that is technically not supposed to. It's all a game of statistics and probabilities at the end of the day anyways. So what's more important is its interplay with support and resistance and what that implies as far as, accumulation distribution goes. And in this case, very obvious reaccumulation going on right here in line with the underlying market dynamics that we saw from the open interest and funny rate reads. And then on top of that, just looking at price action, I mean, quite literally you have your higher lows right here on this low volume kind of slug below 51,000 bucks, looking pretty damn good. So with all of that said, I am looking at this essentially reaccumulation, so I do apply a reaccumulation target to it, and that would be actually pointed up all the way towards the 3.618 Fibonacci extension, just around 68,000 bucks, maybe a little bit above there. I actually did not do this one exactly perfectly. Let's get this one a little bit better. There we go. All right, so yeah, just around actually 69,000 bucks. Scratch that, and this is a little bit more of an aggressive read. I could make this on a little bit more of a conservative read, and that actually spot us right around the 3.414. So anywhere between the 414 and the 618 on the next, macro leg essentially for this rally is kind of where I'd be looking towards before the next sort of medium term, maybe even long term pullback region, and then, judge it from there, obviously, as we can't really get too ahead of ourselves because, well, you can't really do too much, especially when, you're talking about things that could be potentially, weeks away. Then again, it's become a fucking meme in my life where I say, I'd be looking for this move to happen probably in the next week or two, and then, oh, what do you know, happens in the next fucking hour. Funny shit. Anyways, I'll keep the meme alive for now, and fair enough. So with all of that said, higher term time frame still looking more or less good to me. Thank you for that text, but feel free to, plop a message in there too, man. Number go up only, baby, up only. There you go, man. There you fucking go. But yes, so that is a higher term time frame look as it is right now. I should also mention over here on our primary charts, which are becoming the secondary charts as well, we do actually have hidden bullish divergence very much confirmed. I'd say, was it, what's it called? One of those times to be aggressive on this? Yeah, I do think so. Taking out last week's high at about 52,666. Was actually the devil's number, and more importantly, it's on Coinbase. No, what I mean by that is that we were also breaking, range high in that case as well. So, just applying one to the next, yes, I do think that is more or less relevant. And more importantly, we've already gotten the move to the prior all-time high. And in this case right here, when you do see a signature like this, and this is actually really, really important, when you do see a signature like this, usually a continuation signature, as you're already very, very close to your prior all-time high, or just prior high in general. So that divergence typically is going to lead into new all-time highs. So if we are going to be judging the next sort of breakout targets, that's what I'd be looking at right there. We can do one other thing for this as well, actually. If I go, okay, yes, I am on a fresh chart, so let's go down to a lower term time frame, because we do have a nice little consolidation range right here. I mean, it's pretty damn simple, I suppose. And what we can do is we can put a nice little extension on this. We can do this a couple ways, but I'd say the more obvious way is going to be this guy right here. It's 272 lined up with a current high. Perfectly, excellent, good, great. And then what do we have? Yes, we have and then we have several overlaid around that $69,000 target. So I love 69 because it's a great number, and more importantly, it's only secondary to 420, of course. And just kidding, YouTube police. Where do you go with that? It's like, Jesus Christ. Anyways, more importantly, I would be looking towards that area if and when Bitcoin does take the next leg up. So I am just generally bullish on pretty much all time frames as long as that criteria is met. But of course, we should chart out downside support regions, because could it be that Bitcoin actually does put in a bit of a fake out here? Yeah, it's possible. And it's also very relevant to say that on the lower term time frames, momentum is kind of wouldn't be too hard to turn it down for a little bit of a short term pullback. It's very similar to yesterday. It's like high term time frames, yes, feel very confident about that overall continuation. Short term time frames, do we play a pullback? I mean, we played a little bit of a pullback yesterday, to be fair, but not really anything too crazy. Could we play a better pullback today? Perhaps yes. I mean, we did technically have a little bit. Hey, fuck you! Get out of my charts, trading view. There we go. Sorry, that's how I talk to my computers. It's also why they don't work for me probably half the time too. Anyways, we did have a very, 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 very slight amount of bearish divergence here on the 4 hour. These are the ones that typically only play out to the 10 simple in this case, and we've kind of already got that move. Usually I do like to try target the 21, but in this case, because it's such a remedial divergence call there, it's probably not going to play out for all that much. But we do see momentum also is turning down across the board on the short-term time frames. Here's your 4 hour, here's your 3 hour, here's your bi-hourly, and here's your hourly, of which all are kind of pointing down in unison right now. So I do look at that as likely to test a little bit lower, maybe back down to about probably 54.5. I think is very much not out of the question, but the range is quite big here, especially for a short-term time frame. And if I actually, well, do I want to get rid of this? Yeah, we can get rid. Well, it's not really worth to get rid of, because it actually will line up with our ranges anyways. But we do have this area right here. Obviously, this is where biases will change for the short-term time frames, at least for myself. 52,500-ish region, basically the wick high of what we saw for the accumulation zone on this region, between about 52 and about 45 to the downside. So overall, Bitcoin could come down to that level and it wouldn't really change anything for me. And so I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm like looking exactly for a pullback, but if it did come back down there, I would be interested, at least for a short-term trade perhaps. And more importantly, it offers up a nice edge. So it's not like a guaranteed thing, just offers up a nice edge for a trade, because, well, if it breaks this area, then obviously that is not going to be working out, and perhaps you have a trade on the other side, of which I would say that if that area was broken, I would be looking for a move down in line with the 200 simple here, as it has been getting our accumulation lows right around the 0.5. Good confluence there as well at about 49 to 50-ish region. So all of that combined with each other, I mean, there is a pretty obvious way forwards here, and I do like it that the charts are more or less clean right now, which is good. It's good for their heart and soul. Anyways, as it stands right here too, a move down to the 20 exponential moving average on the 4 hour would certainly not be out of order as well. So, if it did come down to about just below 54,000 bucks, I'd probably be looking for a bounce there. So ultimately, it's a higher term time frames that are really much focused on right now. Short term time frames, do they want to play at a little bit of a pullback or not? I mean, I really don't have strong opinions on that, because here we have a tale of two different oscillators. Obviously, Stokes are going to be more relevant for the short term time frame moves. Yes, of course. And that is going to get your rangy type of behavior, but it's the 4 hour, or it's not the 4 hour, but it's the RSI that I look for first, the general strength of trend for that time frame. And in this case right here, this is completely fine. This is completely normal, and I don't really see any major glaring issues with this. If we were putting like major divergence calls around the critical zone, then yes, I'd be looking for maybe a greater pullback from this region, but we're not really seeing that right now. And more importantly, we are seeing that expansive behavior that we were looking at and documenting on the 4 hour HVP down here as well. So I do think that Bitcoin is very much gearing up for an actual break of this range. And in this case, if you are looking at the range, then it would be 58,000 bucks the upside on a 4 hour, or I think it's like 57.5 on a 12-hour daily. And to the downside, which level would I be using? Probably this level right here at about 52.5. I just think it's a lot easier to kind of document right there. So if we do see that, so assuming that we do see that expansive phase in favor of the current trend, which is typically how it does work out, then I would be looking for that expansion to come with that with that breakout, likely to those deeper $6,000 targets, of course. Anyways, as we do go through the other lower term timeframes, just want to see if there's anything else that we've kind of missed right here, of which 3 hour RSI doing the exact same shit, bi-hourly RSI doing a little bit different here. We actually do see a dual sell signal, which is a little bit concerning, and could play into a little bit of a greater short-term time frame pullback. Again, anywhere down to 52,500 is like inconsequential in my mind, but I mean, that is technically speaking about a $3,000 move. So a $3,000 move is always going to be a $3,000 move. That's why I don't necessarily give out like trade ideas anymore, because, well, one, it really seems to attract like the wrong type of person, and two, it's like, okay, well, what kind of trader are you? Is this even relevant for you? It's like, can be massively misinterpreted, and that just perpetuates tears, I suppose. Anyways, hourly, yep, a little bit more in a breakdown right there, but But again, would really not do too much for me, as long as it's about 52.5. Anyways, moving on to the medium term time frames, so we see anything of note right here. 12-hour RSI looks really fucking good to me long term. Incredibly constructive read, going especially all the way back to May 2020. So I really like that. Short term, does it come back down and test around the edges of the bullish control zone? Very likely yes. In line with the exponential there too. But again, I would be looking at that probably as the next sort of base scenario. If Bitcoin wants to have a quick wick down somewhere around like 53 or 52.5, I think that's completely fine as far as the short and medium term time frames go. 12-hour Stokes still way the fuck up there, to be fair. So fair enough on that one. When Bitcoin does pull back, it's going to be pretty fucking intense, I imagine. But if I were to kind of like summarize my thoughts on the medium and higher term time frames versus like continuation or pullback first. On the higher term time frames, continuation first. Short term time frames, could you say the same thing? Maybe not, but again, I'm not too focused on that right now, as the higher term time frames do start to take on over. Daily, what do we see right here? Continuation, very, very good. And what do we see as far as daily RSI goes? We're seeing that hidden bullish divergence play out that we identified a couple days ago. And again, these things do kind of take their time, right? This was coming in on a read almost a week ago now. Yeah, about a week ago, actually, 4th of March, right down around $48,000 before putting in that signal. And so now essentially playing it out. So I would be looking at that again, from a longitudinal time period, and more importantly, if you have access to that indicator, or if you just know how to read divergences, which is easy enough as well, then you can kind of see that a daily obviously is going to take its time, as it's always going to be relevant to the time frame. Anyways, looking at the 2-day right here, having a fresh cross the upside upon last night's closure, I believe it was, or sorry, no, it's a 3-day that closed last night, but this one closing tonight, going to have another chance to kind of further fulfill that. We see a nice little regression right here, more importantly holding it into the bullish control zone, and again just further solidifying at least my ideas right now that Bitcoin on the higher term time frame is looking more or less like continuation here. Same thing on our side. We see the same sort of hidden bullish divergence get ticked off right there. Very fucking good. And if we go to the 3-day, I imagine that this one also, yep, exact same fucking chart, obviously. And this one from a momentum oscillator perspective, same shit here too, bouncing off the same sort of trend line that we had marked in for the last, I guess I don't have it on this chart, but on my Mexican chart, we've had it marked in ever since what's called September 2020, getting all of the lows from about $10,000, then $30,000 right here, and then once again at about $45,000 right here. So I do look at this as momentum increasing over the history of time for this rally, which is good, but it at some point the momentum is just too difficult to kind of keep up with each other, and that's at the point when you're probably going to see like the pi cycle indicator start to really falter here, because that is essentially momentum against momentum at the end of the day is what this is kind of going off of. But as you can see right now, still well above, well, maybe not well above, but still above 90%. And by the way, Caretaker updated this one just so you can have the percentage already kind of charted for you, and it's there available for you for free. I think someone asked about it yesterday, how to get it. Just go into this, just literally listen to this next part, as I said yesterday as well. Go to indicator tab, type in like Caretaker pi cycle top. There you go. It'll be there. I'm sure it'll be there. Or you can just go to his profile, and I'm sure that it'll be listed somewhere within there as well. Should also be noted that on the 3-day, we do see the 10 symbol coming in right around that 51.5 level. So, again, if we did have a backfill in last 3-day open, it really wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary. So if Bitcoin does want to play out a short-term downside move, I'd simply just be looking at it as an opportunity. Ultimately, I'm looking for this to continue. I have really no reason to be bearish on this, especially as the higher term timeframes go. And it should also be noted that, well, with this price action, we do see the monthly is finally pulling that bottom side, or sorry, that top side Tron band up almost to the monthly open, or sorry, the monthly low that would be. It's currently sitting at right under $43,000. So you can imagine that if Bitcoin does reapproach even maybe like a little bit lower than $60,000, it very likely will be touching that. So you will this condition very likely will continue to be fulfilled, and it will still be 100% correct. Problem is, it didn't happen in the way that that is kind of initially postulating, with coming down to like $45,000 or $40,000 for that narrative. But still, that is why there's two ways that we were kind of documented as to how this can kind of come about. And well, we're seeing the more bullish of these cases in a fucking bullish market. Surprise, surprise. Anyways, Luke T, no, I'm just appreciate it, brother, but just normal, just feeling normal today, I suppose. Anyways, let's see. Is there anything else that we want to check out before we go into to comments right now? We're already 34 minutes into this bitch, so we could go to comments at any moment in time. We can briefly check out CME right here. So CME was the one. Okay, so the one thing that was concerning me about Bitcoin was a 3-day jewel sell signal. I don't think that's going to play out. So we just got another tick on this one. The pink actually got a positive slope, and I look at this as likely going to be a failed failed signal. That was the one thing that was kind of keeping me a little bit more held back. But again, with the plethora of all higher term time frame bullish signals, you know, am I gonna favor like 10 bullish signals versus one bearish signal, even if it is kind of a big one to me? Well, I'm gonna favor the 10 for the most part. It's always a game of statistics and probabilities. Always remember that. And so more confluence typically equals better. And in this case, I would say that there's a lot more confluence in terms of upside continuation on the higher term time frame. So more or less good right there. And that's what I have to say about that, as I have been getting a shit ton of questions on that. But I don't think it's going to play out, to put it bluntly. Short-term timeframes, again, you know, on CME, do we have any sort of divergences here? We actually don't. Could we actually be building hidden bullish divergence on the other side? Actually, we could, especially if it does try to put in a higher low anywhere above this 54,250-ish region right here. CME actually looking a little bit more. Yes, CME actually really, actually even making new all-time highs yesterday night. Is that correct? 57,815 high versus 57,790 high. Yes, indeed. It did make new all-time highs yesterday. Very interesting there to see that actually not accompanied by spot price action doing the same. So that would imply that the premium on spot price action, or sorry, above spot price action is actually not all that much in comparison, to be fair. But you would expect that it actually would really be, what's it called? Increasing, especially as Bitcoin does approach the prior all-time high, kind of suggests that the market is not as frothy as what we might be considering on the higher term time frame. So with all of that said, you know, if I am looking for reason to be a little bit concerned on the short-term timeframes, this would maybe be it, I suppose. But still, you know, I still like this a lot, especially as long as it's above about 52.5. That's pretty much all that I have to say about that. What's up, Hosea fam? I see you over there, man. I see you over there. Krown is keeping Elsa in the closet for the time being. Yeah, she's actually asleep somehow. So wake up, you lazy fuck! My neighbors must love that. Let's give her the fucking horn. There you go. Krown, is this a cup and handle on new BTC daily, says Taylor Bear? Yeah, we can look at that right now. Might as well get in some comments as I said new bear. Nice one. New BTC. All right, let's go check it out. I also want to check out some traditional marks here as well. Coinbase, well, is this a cup and handle? No, this is a failure is what it is, man. This one's curling down. If this was going to be a cup and handle, you would have not expected this to be broken right here. As soon as this gets broken right here, you no longer have your handle. You have a downtrend, and your downtrend is bringing you all the way to probably back down to like 1,000 satoshis below. Anyways, let's go check out traditional markets. I actually did forget to do the perusal on that. I actually am looking at this with completely fresh eyes. Do we have new all-time highs on Dow Jones? Oh my God! Holy shit! We got new all-time highs in Dow Jones. That's crazy. I'd be looking for new all-time highs on top of that coming into today as well. Still looking at about a 32,800-ish target for the next sort of short medium-term pullback. Daily RSI looking good, back in the bullish control zone. Daily Stokes looking good as well. Oh, and look, it's Sleeping Beauty. She's awake. Hey, welcome to the world. How are you doing? Hey, how's your eye doing? Actually, for real. She says no. She says no. Well, thanks for ruining the goddamn mood. Just trying to have some fun in the morning, that's all. Anyways, looking at NASDAQ. So we did get the pullback based off the 21 exponential average, but I'm actually not looking at this to be a reversal right here. I'm looking for this one to pop back up in line with what we see on Dow Jones and SPY. Very, 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 very likely that we do see another move back up towards 13,250 to 13,300-ish region. Momentum also just pointed up north across the board, playing out the same sort of trend line that we've been having since Jesus Christ, December 2018, getting the lows from around there when we saw actually Bitcoin and traditional markets come down at about the same time. And same thing on daily RSI right here. Rejection of the bearish control zone back above the exponential, looking good right now. All of this is looking like this is going to be another opportunity. Now, technically speaking, if we do take out yesterday's high, I'd look at that as an aggressive signal for very, 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 very likely continuation back into about 13.3 region. If we go down to the very low term timeframes over here, this to me looks like trying to construct a higher low right now. And yes, we have the divergence alongside that as well. So it's typically what you would expect to see. Personally speaking, I do think that, yes, this one's going to make a run towards like 13,250 to 13.3 region, probably within this next day or two, although I shouldn't really give timing targets for that. And this is, of course, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is financial derp. Anyways, Few understand. Few understand the financial derping going on right now. Anyways, looking at SPY futures, expect to see kind of like the same thing. This one kind of in the middle of the pack as far as strength goes. Very similar signature to what we see on Nasdaq, for example. And seeing as Dow Jones is making new highs, I'd very likely favor the upside here too. 39.35 to 39.50 regions where I'd be looking for on this next leg. Same sort of things on momentum oscillators looking good right here. Daily Stokes up, daily RSI back above the exponential, rejecting the bearish control zone, playing out hidden bullish divergence, all these things good alongside, well, a fucking uptrend here. Crazy shit, right? Crazy shit. Anyways, most importantly with this, I'd be looking for a retest per all-time high and very likely new all-time highs. Still looking at long-term, this one going towards 4,000 and probably beyond. So let's see. I think someone shouted out gold too. I see you, Mr. Charlie Fucks. Where is my gold? I always forget where my damn gold is. Where's my motherfucking gold? There we go. Yeah, playing out the bounce that we were looking at. Playing out the bounce that we've been looking for like the last 3-4 days, and I still would remain with a 1750 target for this next leg. Does it trade higher than that over time? I do think so, yes. It really wouldn't be asking for too much to get this one back up to about 1800-ish region. Yeah, very, 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 very likely to continue out of bounce from here. Question is, though, is this going to lead into the next lower high or not? Well, I don't have a strong opinion on that just yet. My strong opinion is on continuation of bounce here, probably over the next like few weeks, actually, bringing it up to like 1750, probably a small pullback from there. And then I do think that this one will make a run somewhere around 1800-ish region. That's probably going to be the next big decision area, however. Anyways, okay, let me just make sure that I'm actually getting through everything over here. I've answered all of the super chats thus far, and actually I have. Okay, nice one. Anyways, Elsa was tired from watching Krown play Resident Evil. that game actually was actually pretty damn scary, to be honest with you. Anyways, let's see. Hey, what's up, Dodgymon? Jewel 20 crowns here. I know it's bad. It's really fucking bad. But I think this might be the one time. I think this this time it's different, Dodgymon. Can you look at butyrolls? Yeah, we can look at butyrolls really quick. Let's see. Where's my best chart for that? Here we go. Okay, so 1783 looks to me like it's trying to put in a higher low right here on the short-term timeframes. Do we have any sort of divergences to kind of accompany that? It would if it can put in a higher low right here, but that is still a little bit further away from being confirmed. We do some momentum oscillators kind of down across the board on the short-term timeframes, I believe. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, all down. But I do happen to look at this as likely to fall, whatever the fuck Bitcoin's doing. Now, if this one does want to play a downside move, I'd kind of look at the, the 52,500-ish level on Bitcoin the same way I'd look at about 1,700 to 1,690 on Ethereum. As long as it's above there, I don't really have any real major reason to be bearish. But I should say that this one does look a lot more like it could actually come all the way back down to 1525 region and put in some more time within this accumulation zone right here. Oh, it's kitchen time. Forks are coming out right now. Fucking click, clack, clank. God damn it. Jesus Christ, man. I absolutely despise utensils nowadays. Yeah, go drum it up, you silly, you salty bitch. Anyways, that's how I talk to my girlfriend. It's really nice. yeah. I've been sprinkling pink Himalayan salt on you all night. It's tasty. been playing too much Resident Evil. Anyways, yeah, looking at this right here, so it's kind of like actually Ethereum's rather interesting to me because it's not in the same posturing as Bitcoin here, actually. This one does look a lot more like it could actually come all the way back down to those accumulation levels at the low $1,500-ish region. But I would be looking at this current basin area as a likely indication of that, meaning that, whoops, okay, well, it actually does line up with that, so that's good, but let's just do a new chart here. I think I already have that saved on another chart anyways. This would be kind of like my level to hold, so to speak, right now. In line with our last sort of breakdown from late February. Yeah, late February. So I'll be looking at this as a bit of a decision maker right there, meaning that as long as Ethereum holds above it, generally good. If it does break below here, I would look for the next level to be tested down to about 1675. That's the big one, however. If 1675 does get broken, I would look for it to go all the way back down to the accumulation lows in the low $1,500 region. I would still look at that as a major opportunity, to be fair, but it is a bit concerning that we don't see Ethereum showing the same strength that Bitcoin actually is right now. So Bitcoin clearly in the lead of this market here. Higher term timeframes do look more or less good, though. I should denote. So, if I did have to call things, do I think that it generally follows Bitcoin? Yes, I do. Anyways, thanks for that, Mr. Major Metacarpal. But man, okay, there we go. I see that you have a message down there. It just wasn't attached to it. Krown, mom needs some chicken tendies. Can you look at mom? Can you look at ramp versus wrapped ether? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. I'm very curious to see that if this thing even actually trades. Actually, it has, well, more history than I would have thought. Actually, pretty good here, to be fair. I'd be looking for a retest of the prior all-time high at, like, what is this, 3 million butyrols, and probably new all-time highs on top of that. Clear accumulation going on right here, but, you know, still, we only have history for, like, the last half year, which is really not ideal, but yeah, I'd be looking for this one to retest the prior all-time high and make new all-time highs. It's generally good here. And again, this is kind of the time for the DeFi sector to be just essentially doing whatever the fuck that it wants. It's very similar to what we saw in 2017 for the majority of altcoins. I did miss something else as well. Let's see. Yefe or Hefe. Krown, can you look at the ticker symbol AVO on NASDAQ? Sure, man. Yeah, okay, daily. Gotcha. All right, AVO. This is going to be good. Mission. All right. I thought it was going to be like some avocados, commodities or something, but apparently not. What are we looking at right here? Okay, so this is rather interesting, seeing as this thing does not seem to have much history, and it also does not, yeah, really low on the volume here for something that trades on NASDAQ. A little bit concerning with that. Now, you know, if you put a gun to my head and said Krown called this one, you know, obviously an uptrend, hidden bullish divergences coming off that last higher low right there too. You know, is it likely to probably retest the prior all-time high and make new all-time highs? But, you know, probably towards like $25. Likely yes, but I do always want to say when we see a chart like this and the one prior, when you don't have that much history, I really don't feel all that confident. I should kind of denote everything that I say with like, hey, look, this is really not going to be like a perfect, you know, what's it called? Like use case, I suppose, of technical analysis. You really want more history than this, but in this case, yeah, areas of interest to the upside going to be about $25, big one right there, and then short term about 23. It looks like is where I'd be looking towards. On this area, and yes, I do favor the upside here. I mean, technically speaking, the daily is good for the information that we do have, but you know, could we see a short-term pullback down to like 20.5? Maybe, yeah, but I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. Rising lows alongside the 55 right here on the 4 hour, and as long as that condition's met, you know, kind of have to stay bullish, at least for myself. Of course, it's not finished by some. Distribution says Junior Riggs. Is this distribution? No, I'd say that this is actually very much undistribution right here. You're not going to really see higher lows in a distributive core. What you'd really want to see is like a rounded over price action. Anyways, let's see. Ethereum Bitcoin, please. Sure, man. Okay. Where is my Ethereum Bitcoin chart? Yeah, I think that this actually would be a good idea to be looking at today. Kind of judge the general altcoin market. And what do you fucking know? What do you fucking know? I got a lot of hate for this one. I got a lot of fucking hate for this one. But as soon as we saw the closure below the 200 exponential average a couple weeks ago, I did say that I would be very, very bearish on this. Sorry, even before that, right around here at about the $3.4 million mark, or sorry, not million dollar, but million Satoshi marker right here. That's where I started to get bearish on this one. I'd continue to be bearish on this one. I look for this one to very likely come back down over time, probably over the next few months, to 2.6 million. This is not looking good short term, to be honest with you. So that does imply that altcoins probably going to be taken on the chin if Bitcoin does get going here. Bitcoin is essentially going to outpace everything else versus the US dollar, which is obviously going to imply that they're going to fall versus the Satoshi pairing. Duh. Anyways, I do think that this one very likely does come down. Yeah, probably over the next or a little bit, maybe over like the next week or two, down about 3.1 million Satoshis, and then long term, I would probably extend that. I do think that we have seen a major high right here, most likely, but let's check in on the monthly as well. I'm just curious what this one looks like right now, and not as bad, so I can't really get bearish on this long term, but yeah, I would be looking for short term, medium term downside there. You know, is this one? Well, no, it just failed its bounce right there. Yeah, fair enough. All right, down we go, sirs. Oktay Babayev says, "Sir, Badger BTC 4-hour Uniswap." Oh, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. I guess we can't really like get too. Badger. How the fuck do you spell this? Badger BTC. There we go. All right, nice one on. It looks like we don't have Uniswap as an exchange here, but we can look at Binance, which I imagine would be the next best thing. And what do we have? Oh, baby, we got a downtrend on all the information that we have thus far. Yeah, not good right there. But I suppose that maybe it doesn't deserve the fucking red horn treatment, seeing as you are looking at Uniswap. Maybe it has more history there, but as far as what we can see for the history, that is literally only going back to slightly more than a week ago. It's 2nd of March. Yeah, pretty shitty for what we have. Do I trust this one all that much? I mean, this does look like a clear ICO dump or whatever the fuck this thing is. Maybe we can find another Another one with more history. Maybe it's not that bad, but from what we've seen thus far, pretty fucking nasty. Huobi and OKX. Okay, so 2 shitcoin exchanges. Huobi, yep, pretty bad here still. Would I be looking for a bounce off this area based upon this? Yes, I would. But, well, to be fair, this is actually significantly better of a chart as we are kind of coming to that same sort of low. It's not as bad as what we saw before. I'd probably be looking for bounces within this region first and foremost, and then come back to it after that. Let's see. What did I just miss right now? Let's see. We got Mr. Octase. Wait, nope. We just got that one. Wolf395. Survivor says, odd question. Oh boy. Is Star Trek big in Finland? I don't know. Is Star Trek big here? Do you know what Star Trek is? Yes. Oh, okay. She does know what Star Trek is. Yeah, she also has heard the song 50 Cent in the club, and I found that out last night. It's actually made its way all the way to Finland. It's good. It's really fucking good. Finland's usually about like 10 to 15 years behind contemporary trends. So, you know, it's like things that were cool about 10 years ago in America. That's what's cool here now. Mom, you just got Britney Baby one more time. Nice. There you go. I'm glad that that can make its way over here. I'm glad that finally Taco Bell and KFC are coming to this bitch. Fuck yeah. Just let's outsource all this obesity from America to the rest of the world. Holy shit. Gotta be proud for that, man. Gotta be fucking proud for that. Jesus Christ. Anyways, anything for that, Mr. Scott Patterson? But Scott, oh wait, okay, there he goes. I see a message. It's kind of difficult though if you don't put the message that you want with the super chat for me to fish it out. But I did find this one. So just, you know, in the future, in case you happen to give a fuck. You said QNT. QNT is a 2017 shitcoin now, isn't it? QNT USD. Man, I fucking love seeing Derek come back in the chats too, man. He is a good old homie. Anyways, Bittrex over here. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, man, this one should have a lot of history. I remember this one from 2017 days, certainly. And hey, one of the better charts, absolutely. Or was it from 2017? No, 2019. Okay, so maybe not as much. Didn't get the full hammer on the head during the 2017-2018 downturn. But more importantly, yes, a very good chart right here. You know, long-term uptrend, obvious accumulation from July 2019 all the way to January 2021. Very much like this. So your first sort of markup right here. I'll be looking for this one to trade a little bit sideways, probably does come back down to 33 bucks, but I'd be looking at for 33 bucks to be a major opportunity after this rejection of kind of getting past that prior high. So with that in mind, you know, long term, yes, good. Short term and medium term, probably a little bit sideways and down, but again, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. I actually do like this chart long term from what we've seen thus far. Let's see, Kendrick DeCamps, what's up, Mr. DeCamps? The Dominicans are with you. Fuck yeah. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but I'm in it. I'm fucking in it, man. Anyways, let the forks fall everywhere. Thoughts on MKR? Oh yeah, Maker USD and maybe Finlandia Life Daily. Is that a real thing? Yeah, we can look at MKR USD. I remember this is Maker. I've seen this one before somewhere around the interwebs. Let's see what it's got as far as the chart goes. Again, another one of the I suppose better acting altcoin charts. Yes. Long form accumulation going on right here, gets its markup in beginning of 2021. First one gets reaccumulated. Good. Yep. Very much in line with Bitcoin. Short term, I would be looking for this one to come back down and probably make a stab towards a 55. Oh, wow. This thing trades at just above 2,000 bucks. Wow. Not bad. I imagine it probably is like a very low or light supply. I would be looking for another run back down to around low 2,000 bucks, but I'd be looking for that to get picked up there. Again, in line with the rest of the market. I don't think that anything's going to be really like doing anything too much different. And then probably does make another try back up towards these range highs of like 2550 to 2600ish region. But short term, medium term, yes, I would be looking a little bit down here. But again, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity, especially with the way that the rest of the market's looking right now. I'm curious if there's anything on like a weekly, like a higher term time frame. Yeah, I mean, we might have already even seen that downside move. I mean, I'm not too gung ho about the low term time frames. I mean, this is a little bit concerning right here. Yes, we do have divergences. Yes, momentum's turning down. Yes, this is all happening on an increasing HVP, so I am a little bit more inclined to say that this one does come down short term, but long term I actually do like it, especially seeing as it really didn't get hit alongside all of the other shit coins throughout that same time period. So actually does deserve a little more respect. Fishing with Donnie, nice, man. Newer sub, love your fully auto style TA. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, and welcome to the cave, man. Take down your fucking pants and let's get ready to rumble, baby. Just kidding. Just kidding. I don't know where that came from. I don't want to fuck you though. It doesn't mean I don't like you though. It's not you, it's me. Litecoin medium to long term. Again, another one that's just generally following the market. It is I would say that it's relatively not as strong as the other ones, but this one's above. It's certainly above like the shitcoins, yes, because those ones have just been at a perpetual downtrend. But this one just kind of getting around its prior all-time highs. Definitely not going to be considered as strong as the rest of the market. So I do think that that's relevant to talk about. But is it going to go down with the rest of the market kind of doing what it's doing? Very unlikely, no. So I would be looking for this one medium term, maybe a little bit of short-term downside here. If this one did come back down to 175 or 176, I'd look at that as a major opportunity once again. Long-term, though, I'd be looking for it to retest the high of this run, very likely make new all-time highs. It's very likely to follow the rest of the market, man. We do see hidden bullish divergence on the weekly as well. That very likely does come alongside a test of, 250 again. And, does it set it up for a further breakout to infinity and beyond? Probably yes. Maybe not like actually infinity, obviously, but ultimately, I'd imagine this one's going to make new all-time highs with the rest of the market too. Momentum also turning up across the board. So any sort of short-term downside move, I would be looking for that one to get picked back up, essentially. Okay, what else did I miss? I see JR. Yeah, I see JR right there. Greetings, Krown from San Diego. Fuck yeah, man. In and out burgers rule. They actually do rule. That's very much true. The animal style is the best style. Look at Elrond USD. Okay, what is the ticker for that? I'm guessing like if I just type in Elrond, it'll probably be good enough. Okay, yep, they were good enough on that one. HIT BTC, OKX, and FTX. That's quite the assortment right there. I guess probably HIT BTC will have the longest running history if I had to guess. You said versus USD specifically, so let's just try this and see what sort of history we come up with. Okay, not super. Okay, this is actually a weekly, so it actually does have a decent amount of history here. I'd be looking for bounce off this level, but kind of an ugly chart. Let's see if we can find something a little bit more better. Let's see. Let's just do L. Okay, can we get back those damn charts here? Oh, whoops. Oh, god damn it! I did it again. It's just like fucking Brittany. Okay, let's see. Hey, can I spell or not? There we go. All right. Maybe we try FTX, I suppose. Yeah, not much history here either, but this one looking a lot more like short-term accumulation. I suppose this is daily. It's okay. Short-term, if it wants to come back down, test around 143.5 to 144 region. I'd look at that as an opportunity. Long-term, very likely continuation in line with the rest of the market. It's very similar to what we saw, in 2018, 2019. It's like generally things in a downtrend, generally things going down. Now, generally things going up. So I'd err on the side of bullishness here. Short-term downside likely does get reaccumulated. I mean, this is obvious reaccumulation right here as well. Declining volume plus those higher lows. I do like that one essentially. So looking good right there. And you said 4 hour as well. Yeah, maybe a little bit of short-term downside here. I don't feel all that confident about that. It's very similar to my reads on Bitcoin and just about everything else. Okay, cool. Did I miss anything else? No, I did not. Okay, nice. Ha! There we go. That's lovely. How could you not know Theta? What? You use Twitch, right? They fucking own it. Theta owns Twitch. I thought Amazon owns Twitch, actually. This must be news to me. I don't know. We can look at Theta, though. Theta actually does a pretty damn good chart. I remember we looked at this the other day, and yeah, very, very impressive here, actually, over a long period of time. Actually, probably one of the best altcoin charts that I can come up with off the top of my head, except for maybe a few other ones. Maybe like DOT. I have this on my list for some reason as well. Nope, not as good here. Not as good! Pretty damn good, but not as good. Anyways, Hugo, hey, what's up, Hugo? Senor, Algo USD. Ah, that's right. Yes, I forgot that one. Apologies about that. But we can knock this. God damn, man, I cannot type and speak at the same time, like some sort of disorder. I have that disease. Let's see, what do we have right here? Okay, yes. So here we go. This one is, I believe, 2019 shitcoin, huh? Do we have another exchange that might have better history? There's got to be something. So we just went to a Binance. That probably will be the best history one. Maybe KuCoin, maybe Bittrex, if I had to guess. We'll try this one. Yeah, it doesn't look as bad from this perspective. I'd be looking for a little bit of short-term downside here. Probably does try to put in another low somewhere around a buck even region, maybe a little bit above a buck. But ultimately, it's going to follow the rest of the market and likely make another run back up towards 130 to 150ish region. Very likely, yes. I really don't have major reason to be bearish on like a lot of things that look like this. I mean, this clear breakout here. So short-term consolidation is very likely to get picked up. To put it bluntly, short-term. Again, very, very similar to the last chart that we saw. You can obviously see rising bottoms right here. if it wants to have another stint back down to about $1 even, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. I'd be looking for that for a little bit of a bouncy bounce right there. Yuri K, hey, thanks, man. Appreciate that. But not really. If you saw me in my day to day, not really at all. In fact, just a curly headed fuck who barely knows what the hell he's doing half the time. Thank you for doing all these. Could you please check out AV and GRT? Okay, yes, I believe AV is one of the better active ones, but I do recall seeing it on the top 10 worst coins today, I believe. Let's see, you didn't really give a base pairing, so I'm going to go with Tether here, or US dollar, or synthetic US dollar, if that's the case. Short-term down, yes, very, very similar to a lot of the other ones that we've seen. Short-term likely does trade back down towards, 360, 365 region, but I would be looking for bounces around there. I'm not bearish on this one long term. I'm just looking at this as a bit of a range high right here. Probably does come back down to the bottom side of the range, and that would be around anywhere between about 360 and 365, we'll call it. Long term, does it get another try towards the prior high? I mean, pretty fucking aggressive chart here, to be fair. Very fucking aggressive chart here to be. Oh my god, man, this is just ridiculous. What have we seen thus far? About a 2,214% move to the upside. Okay, that's something. Now I can see why everyone's obsessed with these fucking altcoins. Short term down, long term probably does give another try to the upside. It does look like it's getting reaccumulated here, to be fair. And GRT, okay, is this like Grossen's losses token, whatever the fuck this thing is? I remember seeing this one in 2017 as well, or 2018. Let's try this. Let's see what this one pops up with. Same fucking chart here, man. Same chart. Short term, probably a little bit of downside, maybe 190. Daily, however, looking good here. Obvious reaccumulation. You can see that this one does have a decent enough history, at least for the history that we do have, which is not all that much, but good enough at least for now. I'd be looking for this one to retest the prior highs, about $2.50, and probably make new all-time highs over the next few weeks. But short term, a little bit of downside perhaps. So again, very, very similar charts here. Very, very similar charts today. John Johnson says, last stream you talked about getting wrecked in a trade. Would you talk about that and what new traders should be aware of in their own psyche when starting out? Ooh, okay, this is a really good question. This has actually been really, really helpful to me because I really want to bring back the psychological series. So doing these live streams has actually brought about a lot of ideas for that. So essentially the question is, you talked about getting wrecked in a trade. Yes, I mean there's you're probably referring to like my major blowout when I was trading traditional markets. I actually went full on broke, which was not fucking fun. I can tell you that right now. Being full on fucking broke and massively in debt, not fucking fun at all. Like at all a little bit. But the question is essentially, what can you learn from that, and what would you essentially suggest to new traders? So the reason why, or probably the biggest contributing factor to the reason why I did go broke is because I thought that I knew better than the market. I knew about risk management. I knew to do risk management, but I wasn't actually doing it because I thought that I knew better than the market because I'd been trained by some of the best traders in the world, and I thought that that gave me a leg up, and I had some early successes that led me to believe that what I was doing was infallible in a way, and I was unable to let go of that mentality that I knew what was going to happen. I had not accepted at that point that technical analysis is obviously imperfect, and it's a game of statistics and probabilities, not certainties, as obviously you can't have anything certain in a market because anything is possible to happen. Duh. I mean, just look at fucking oil going to zero or past zero into the negative territory as of the last year. Pretty fucking interesting shit, obviously. So with that said, what would I say for new traders? It's going to come down to your ability to understand the statistical nature of this. It's similar to playing poker, for example, right? Where in poker, if you tell a professional poker player that, hey man, you're just getting lucky, obviously there's a slight amount of truth to that, but it would be incredibly offensive to them because it's not, because they are actually playing a meta game within that, and you have to understand that sort of a statistical narrative of what you're doing, and you can't really judge yourself. So one of the big things that I learned through that experience was I cannot judge myself by my P&L. Like obviously you want to have a good P&L, you obviously want to see it go green over time, but that's not what I should be using as my base metric for deciding if if I'm doing a good trade or not. My base metrics for going into a good trade or not was essentially following my own pre-laid out criterion for what I'm looking for, and with specifics, and also before even getting into the trade, documenting those risk management areas, documenting the exit areas as well as the entry too. And so for myself, that was massively helpful, and perhaps it'll be massively helpful for you out there. Obviously, different people have different issues, naturally speaking. For myself, that was it. I was very stubborn. I was in my early 20s for the most, for that portion of my life. And when you're in your early 20s and you're a guy, you're being pumped full with fucking testosterone and everything, and you just think that you're goddamn invincible, which is exactly what I was thinking. If I really truly, reflect on that period of my life, that's exactly what I was thinking. So that led me to some pretty difficult times as well. And, and there's probably videos on that across the fucking web. But what I would say is, the main takeaways from that was, hey, look, the market, anything can happen in the market. So you always have to plan. You always have to have a plan for what happens if things go right, what happens if things go wrong, and you actually have to fucking follow that plan too, which obviously is a little bit more easier said than done. And it's obviously, it's like, well, duh as well. But the thing is that a lot of the times we get in our own way with that. When doing, after having my programs and everything, I've seen a lot of people go through that same sort of thing. It's like anyone, or I would say maybe not anyone, but most people, a strong majority of people can learn technical analysis, like enough technical analysis in order to be like a successful trader, probably within like a month or two. It's really not that difficult. But what's difficult is actually applying that and playing it off in the way that it's meant to be played off. That's where the discrepancies typically come about. And so I found that, keeping a trade journal is incredibly useful for that, in a trade checklist, of which I even have a video on YouTube for anyone who wants to take at any fucking time with like an example of what that could look like. It's very basic, but it's funny. It's like I put that video up and then a bunch of people message me saying, man, I'm so glad you put that video up. It's like, look, this is like a motivational video. You shouldn't want that. Like, just take the fucking base information and go that way. Look, if you want to become a professional trader, or if you just want to become a successful trader or successful in any skill, you got to do the bare fucking minimum. And I look at that as the bare fucking minimum. Like, are you really trying if you don't just do at least that? Do you have your own strategy written down on a piece of paper that you can reference at any time, that you do reference at every time before you take a trade? If you're not doing at least that, you don't, I'll say this bluntly, I don't think that you deserve respect. Not because I should be deciding if you deserve respect or not, but look, like, there's people, you're in competition with other people, and you're not going to do the bare fucking minimum? Like, what the fuck? What are you doing? What are you doing? So that's kind of the way that I look at it. From that perspective. Jonathan DeWitt says, hey, Krown, thanks for the daily videos. My pleasure, man. Learned a lot from you the last 10 years. Fair enough. I guess I've only been doing these videos for actually almost 3 years now. And holy shit, man, it is fucking special too, just because I see a lot of the same people that we've seen here. I'm seeing Derek M right now. I'm seeing Mr. 420. I'm seeing Johnny Budden. Holy fuck, man, this is awesome. Anyways, do you mind looking at SXP USDT? Sure, man, sure. All right, we got XX. I believe we looked at this one yesterday. Let's see if this one's any different today. Probably not, but ooh, yes, looking good, baby. I believe we were bullish on it yesterday. I'd still remain bullish on it today. I'd be looking for maybe a little bit of a pullback around these wick highs that you see right here, right above 360-ish region. But ultimately, this one's very, 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 very likely to retest the prior all-time high at about 430, and very likely to make new all-time highs long term. Weekly looks good. Weekly is very obviously continuation. So any sort of a short-term pullback, back down to like low $3, I'd be looking for that to get picked up in March onwards and upwards. This is a decent enough chart for what we have right here. Again, clear reaccumulation in this range right now. I look at this as good, to put it bluntly. Of course, not financial advice, sirs. not financial advice indeed. All right, let's see. What else do we got? Brent Fraser, Weatherall says, Cole's notes on entries for 4-hour, 1-day timeframes for strong trends that don't present, Cole's notes that don't present great deep retracement opportunities, how to catch continuation. I don't understand your version of English because that first sentence does not make sense to me. Cole's notes on entries for 4-hour, 1-day time frames for strong trends that don't present. I mean, so it's like, how do I get everything that I want in life without any backfire? No, obviously you're trying to optimize. So I'm not sure if I understand your question properly. I think what you're asking is like, what would you use to to judge strong trends on a 4-hour or daily that that don't give like massive retracement opportunities. So like you're not going to be drawing or having like massive drawdown. Is that the question? If that's the question, I think I can speak towards that, but I'm not sure if I'm understanding this properly to begin with. So I'll wait for you to answer. I'll try to keep an eye on the comments below, and then we'll get back to that one after a little bit of clarification. Tabin says, "Sir, any predictions on CG Project Red on?" Oh yeah, what is their ticker? CDPR, I believe. Yeah, CDPR. Okay, cool. Yeah, and they trade on Polish Stock Exchange. Daily, monthly, is a 10-year trend over? Well, it looks pretty shitty here. It's a 10-year trend over? It would appear so. Now, I would be looking for bounces off this region, but that's only short term, man. This is pretty bad. Hitting the 200 simple on the weekly, very, very likely to bounce it there, but this is a clear reversal. I mean, you even see a head and shoulders over here on the long period of time with a nice little bull trap along the way. I mean, that's pretty much about as picture perfect as you're going to get. This one could go for a massive retracement here. I mean, is CG Project Red like actually dead and it goes back down to like 20, 25 bucks? Could be. I mean, it's currently trading 200. I mean, damn, man, this is what the real chart looks like right here. This is a meltdown, man. So I would be looking for a bounce off this region, but that's not the full picture. Continuation of the downside, I do think is rather likely. This is like distribution with redistribution right here. I think you're just getting your next markdown right now. So short-term bounce likely does get sold into. Yeah, I would say that the 10-year trend is very likely over, sir. Anyways, La Major says, can you check out ZIL USDT on Binance medium long term? Okay. All right. This is Zilliqa. Yeah, I saw this one on the what's it called, on the top 10 gainers today, so it must be doing well. But I remember this is also a 2017 shitcoin, so I'm curious to see where it's in within its lifespan. And yeah, one of the better, I mean, I wouldn't say it's probably like in the middle of the pack. I look at the ones that are still below their all-time high, but also having some nice uptrends on the daily and weekly as kind of middle of the pack, par for the course. Strong ones are making new all-time highs. Weak ones are doing nothing of the sort. But this one's probably in the middle of the pack, a little bit better long term as well. Let's see, weeklies, obviously continuation. I'd be looking for a retest of the prior all-time high, 17 cents, and probably beyond long term. But you asked for medium long term, so yeah, that would be your long term. Medium term, I'd be looking at a daily right here. I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards just under 15 cents. Medium term looks good, and actually one of the better trusts that we've seen today as well, I would say, definitely. Anyways, moving on, we got M. Aura says BNB Perps FTX. Okay, you know, it might be, honestly, I know that you're asking specifically about BNB Perp, but it's probably better just be looking at the underline in this case, but I'll look at exactly what you want here. Again, very fucking aggressive chart. Very fucking aggressive chart. Similar to Bitcoin, you know, obviously long term this is bullish. This very likely does get another continuation drive. Very likely will make new all-time highs probably over the next few weeks. But short term, does it play out a pullback first? That's the question right now. And I'd almost be saying no. This one looks like it actually wants to pop back up towards 300 bucks in the short term. And long term, I'd just be looking for a continuation. This is again obvious reaccumulation right here. I mean, this is like actually pretty constructive even with that massive move to the upside. Now I would be operating off of this pivot at about 267 and a quarter, meaning that as long as you're above 267 and a quarter, I would be bullish in all time frames. If you do lose 267 and a quarter, then I would be looking for a pullback first to about 245, 240-ish region, and then try another upside move. But for now, it looks good across all time frames essentially. So I would be respectful of that. Be respectful of that until not. Old Crypto Man says, could you take a look? I get called an old man by my girlfriend sometimes. She sent me a video that was just offensive. That's what it was. Hey, fuck off. Could you take a look at BAT USDT? Sure. On Trex. All right, let's see. BAT USD over here. On Trex, yeah, man, this must be like one of the longest running exchanges for this one too. I mean, this one's been around for a long time, I believe. Yeah, this one, yeah, and again, an example of a better acting coin long term. We do see that this one's, you know, obviously not just retesting all time highs, it's making new all time highs. So this one would be put in the category of the relatively strong altcoins going on here. It's just continuation here is what it's looking like. I mean, there's nothing really to comment on too much that you don't already know. You're already in a continuation drive. This one's literally leading the fucking rally as it stands right now. I'd be looking for this one to make new all time highs, probably even today. Daily RSI very healthy. Daily Stoke still pointing nice and northwards. Yeah, I'd be looking for this one to make new all-time highs. Could we make a target for this? I suppose we could if we needed to. Somewhere around probably about $1 is where I'd be looking towards. You know, hit that round psychological even number and then play out a bit of a pullback and come back to it after that. Fox and Hound says Mana USDT 1 day, sweetie boy. Well, that's concerning. Mana US, what is this? Mana USDT. All right, and I didn't give an exchange, but that's okay. We can just go with Binance on this one. I suppose this one's going to have one of the more long-running histories here. Again, one of the better altcoins. Yeah, again, put this one in the category of relatively strong, making new all-time highs in comparison to a lot of the other things we've seen. I don't know when the fuck I did this measured move here, but apparently it's already hit that. So there you go. You know, does it play at a little bit of a short-term pullback here? I think we're already kind of seeing that, but this one's in trending motion as we speak. Bearish divergence on the daily for right now, but I'd only be looking for that one to come back down to about the 42 and a quarter to 42.5 cent region. Probably does try a bounce there, and then I'd look for a continuation on the long period of time. Again, one of the better charts. Going to have some hidden bullish evidence here, even on the 4 hours. So probably even tries another move back up short-term to like 54, 55 cents. So fair enough on that one. You know, again, one of the better charts that we've seen today, actually. Anyways, okay, Sean R says, Krown, SRK USDT daily. Hey, man, Jesus Christ, one at a fucking time. You can't do fucking three. Jesus, man. SRK, we'll do SRK right here. What is this thing? Versus Tether. Okay, we got only shitcoin exchanges. I'm going to go with Uniswap for this one, because why the hell not? 4 hour daily. New all-time highs on this one. Again, one of the stronger ones. I'm guessing this is like a DeFi coin. Not much history here, but this one's clearly in a breakout right now. I don't really, I'm not really going to be bearish on something that's going to be making new all-time highs. I'd be looking for this one to continue to make new all-time highs here. I don't really have any targets for this one, or maybe I could plot some. Let's see what we got based off this. Okay, yeah, we can actually come up with some. What is this? Not point, not two. Is this in dollars? Yeah, this is in dollars. Okay, like 2 3/4 cents where I'd be looking towards, maybe even 3 cents over time. All right, cool. M Aura says, or Jesus Christ, man. Whoa, goddamn. I just missed a few there. Sushi USD. Okay, all right. Sushi. So this is one of them DeFi thingies. DeFi thingies, so I suspect it's probably gonna be doing relatively well. And let's go to a higher time frame, like a daily, and yeah, you know, relatively well here, but it does look like it's kind of losing momentum over a long period of time. However, you know, again, does this one still try another move? Does this one still try another all-time high? Very likely, yes. I really like the weekly right here. Any sort of a backfill in last week open down to like 15.30 or 15.25. I'd be looking for bounces there if it even does want to play at a pullback short term. I mean, even on the daily, this one's looking pretty damn good. Clear constructive behavior on the daily RSI right here. So I would be looking for a little bit of sideways in the short term, and then upside long term. Looks pretty damn good here, to be fair. Short term could come down, could come down a little bit to like 16.75, 16.5 region maybe, but again, I'd be looking at that as an opportunity. This one does have a little bit more short term distribution signals there, to be fair, but again, in line with the rest of the market, it's not very wise to go against the rest of the market, to be fair. So I imagine this one likely does pull through. Game. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. The GameStop fuckers coming back into it. Yeah, we got GameStop over here Jesus Christ, pretty much retesting the prior high right around about 350-ish region. Quick rejection off that. Is this the next chance to get out? I would say probably yes. If we go down to the lower term timeframes, which actually do look at 5 minutes on traditional markets, especially in very, very volatile price action like this, I do look at this as kind of like your climax. This is sort of your next bull trap right here. I'd feel very confident saying that this one very likely does trade down from this region. I would not be surprised to see this thing back down to like $100 over the next few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one back down around $50 in the next few months. This is, I strongly believe that this one's done. I know that I did say that before over here, but to be fair, I mean, it is still below its prior all-time high, and I would still pretty much be sticking with that. Yes, there's going to be games that are played in this one. Yes, this one's going to get drawn out. Yes, this one's going to be a fucking headache. But at the end of the day, man, I do favor Citadel over some Reddit traders who think that they've found the holy grail after just kind of jumping on what was more or less a hunt for this, for these major institutions, which I don't think is going to hold, especially since seeing as they've kind of already made their money. I mean, Citadel's already fucking net positive as far as P&L goes. They are making money off of people just trading this one right now, so they're gonna play some games here. I imagine this was kind of like the last game to the upside. It's a pretty that's a pretty aggressive move, so I would be looking at that a bit as a climax there. All right. Okay, let's see. Jesus, you spoon-fed mud puppies. Hey, what's up, Philson? You're late. Hey, but can I ask you this? Did you get a what's it called? A notification for this stream? Because if you did, that's, I suppose, good, because I've been getting a lot of complaints recently, or not complaints, but I've been getting a lot of messages recently saying that people have not been getting the notifications for these. So I'm not sure what that's all about. CE Owen says, heard Krown likes being pegged by Elsa. Wow, that's very profound, man. Wow, that's did you think of that one all by yourself? It's like, Jesus Christ. Are you saying game is stopped? Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this one is going to be like making new all-time highs or anything like that. I think that the game is over here. This is kind of like your key right now. We do have one massive long-legged doji, and that is a signal of indecision and perhaps even reversal. The next time that this one comes back down below the 618 right here at about 160, I'll be looking for a full-on fucking meltdown, well below $100 over time, with the next kind of bounce implied around $69, funnily enough. So good on that one. Notification took a while, but it showed up. Okay, cool. So they are coming. Okay, so it's not like it's not like a dire situation. Yeah, I think I know what's going on with that whole situation. I think it's actually my fault. I don't think I'm shadow banned or anything like that. I think it's my fault because I kind of mess up on the live streams sometime with like scheduling them, and I think that causes like conflicts with the way that those notifications are sent out from YouTube. Do I have any proof for that? I don't fucking know, but I would imagine it's probably, you know, at the end of the day, it's probably just harmless. I don't think that like any foul play is really at hand, at least for now. My broker won't let me short it. Yeah. Oh, really? What broker do you have? Hey, what's up, Ziamify? Hopefully I'm saying that properly. I am well, not very sophisticated in my tongue action. I've been getting the notifications, but also heard the Bitcoin is ranking videos lower lately. Might be worth to play around with that. Interesting. That is very interesting actually, because I do notice that like all of the top crypto YouTubers, they don't fuck around with those hashtags. So perhaps that could be it. Yeah, could be it. I could play around with that a bit. But it's also not like my full. It's also not my full priority to like just get as many subscribers as possible. I mean, I almost kind of shudder at that. Not to like fucking throw shade at people, but sometimes I look at like other communities and I look at like the comment section of other communities. I'm like, fuck that. Like, Jesus Christ, man, we are all fucked if this is the level of discussion going on here. Like, this is not good. Pronounced Jomfi. All right, nice. That learned something new today. Thank you for that, Mr. Derek M. Nice one. Let's see, how's Link doing? Been your chance since 2019. Early, fuck yeah. Also the 3 new coins coming up on Pro-Matic scale. Okay, so Link, hold on. For one thing at a time before I get taken away here. Okay, how's Link doing? I'm guessing you want to see it versus US dollar. A little bit of short-term downside here. Again, long-term I like it. One of the best charts that we've seen long-term. You know, pretty much the whole time that we've known each other, I suppose. Seeing as you've been here for 2019, very very good chart. Deserves a lot of respect long-term. Short-term does it play out some downside? I mean, if this one did come back down to like 26.25, that'd be a major opportunity. I don't have strong opinions on that. My strong opinion is on continuation here long-term. Weekly's a bit of a sell-off. Yeah, if it did come down, if it did come back down to like 26.25 or even 26.5, I'd look at that as very nice opportunity right there. Short term, do we have any other downside signals? Again, overall, this one very likely does get reaccumulated. Short term, does it have a little bit of downside? I suppose I would kind of fall under that umbrella right now, but I'll be using that as an opportunity. This one does look good long term. I'm curious what the monthly looks like as well. I haven't checked on this one in a while, and yeah, pretty fucking strong right here, especially after a bit of a sell-off dildo like we saw in February to just kind of mark it back up towards that prior high alongside momentum also is turning up. Yeah, I'd be long term bullish on this one. In fact, very long term bullish on this one. This is probably the best chart in cryptocurrency land for the longest amount of time from 2017 to where we're at right now. I mean, I can't think of another chart that has that good of history except for maybe Bitcoin. But even then, I mean, Bitcoin is not doing the same, the same sort of levels as this. I mean, this one's been up like 27,800% for reference versus Bitcoin, which is just doing a modest like 1,000% or something, or whatever the fuck it is. Okay, also the 3 new coins coming up. Pro-Matic scale. Matic we've already done. Pro, I don't know. Scale, is that a coin? Is that a thingy? Is that something that we can look at? Let's see. Scale, yeah, it is. Okay, it is. It's on Huobi and HitBTC and Uniswap. All right, so that's great. Tether, well, there's no history here. I can't analyze something like this in good faith. Look, it barely trades. We have no history for this one. I think a healthy amount of I should not comment on this for for the love of God is probably the right answer for this one. Apologies for that. I know that's probably not the answer that you want to hear, but generally speaking, would this look good if I was just looking at this? Yes. Do I feel confident in analyzing something that literally has like, you know, a couple weeks of history? No, not really. But I imagine it's going to be more or less fine. You know, this is the time. This is very similar time to what we saw in 2017, where it's like, hey, if you even can just fucking list your name in the right sector, you're probably going to get marked up a bit just by flowing with the market cycle dynamics. So I do like that, and I would favor that for, you know, for that case. R Lake 13 says, can you look at OXT USD? Sure, man, I got you. Okay, OXT USD. There we go. And Coinbase. All right. Not familiar with this one, but if it's on Coinbase, it can't be that bad. And actually, this one actually has a decent amount of history here. I mean, going all the way back to December 2019. It's about as good as you can get for a lot of these shitcoins. Yeah, very good here. Obviously, this is reaccumulation. Obviously, this is your kind of markup territory right here. I'd be looking for this one actually does work as a cup and handle. So we actually can make a measure move on this one, and it would be something like this. And that actually be implying a target towards about 115, 114-ish region over the next few weeks, most likely. This one looks pretty damn good. Even in the short term, this one's actually getting marked up right now. So I'd be looking for bullish on all time frames, basically. I'd be looking for this one to retest the prior all-time high, 71.5 cents, and then very likely break out to new all-time highs over the next few weeks. Looks, you know, pretty good for the stuff that for the information that we have thus far. Okay. Hey, what's up, DJ Tignon? Hey, Krown, how's McAfee's favorite coin, XVG, doing these days? Verge. Fucking Verge. Wow. That's a good question. Let's look at it. I imagine this one's probably a dead, washed away 2017 coin. Let's go to Bittrex and notice that this one will have the longest form history. And holy fuck! Oh shit! We have all 5 out of 5 oh fucks. And this one gets the Red Dildo Award of the day. This is terrible. This is like really bad. Wow, so this is kind of what I'm talking about. You know, if your coin is doing something like this, when the rest of the market is doing what we see, this would be relatively weak or relatively shitty as fuck, you might call it. Yeah, pretty fucking bad here, man. Not good. I mean, do you remember that time where McAfee was doing like the coin of the week or the coin of the day? It's just like a complete fucking pump and dump. 98.5% to the downside. Not bad, man. Almost back to break even with another fucking billion X. Jesus, man, just a pullback, just a fucking pullback there. Yeah, so again, you know, that's a really good example of something that, you know, is just irrelevant nowadays. Technically speaking, it's not dead. It's kind of got like a dead heartbeat as far as the chart goes, but it's, you know, it's just irrelevant, which is worse. JR says, Engine USD party over. Good price points to get in. Well, this is not Signal Channel, but let's go check out what the chart looks like here. You pretty much provided absolutely no color on what you're looking for there. Is the party over here? Wouldn't say that just yet, actually. I mean, long term, there's no real reason to look at a trend that's ending just yet. No, what makes you think this one's over right now would be the real question. As looking at it right here, I mean, maybe a little bit of a short-term downside move to like 137 region. I'd probably be looking for bounces there. But again, you know, when you ask a question like that, it's incredibly difficult to answer because you're saying like good price points to get in. I don't know what the fuck time frame you're trading. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to do. I don't know if you're looking for like a long-term trade. Don't know what a long-term trade even means to you. Don't know if you're looking for a short-term trade. Don't know also what that means for you either. Don't know what exchange you're even trading this thing on. You know, if you can short this thing or long this thing. So it makes answering a question like that pretty much impossible. But I'm just giving you shit right now, man. I probably shouldn't be doing that because you probably already know. Uni USD. Why are you giving me this bullshit? What? Why do I need to look at it? Says who? Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, you got fucking Elsa on the unicorn chain now. All right, Uni USD. All right, we can look at this bullshit over here. Oh, it got listed on Coinbase. Not bad. All right, so looks like Mr. Armstrong is a fan of it too. Up. This one is really fucking good here. I'd even be looking at this area right now, just below 29 bucks as a major opportunity. I'd be bullish on this one. It's very likely to make new all-time highs in the next couple of weeks. Very likely. JR says, hi, Krown. Thoughts on VET BTC 4-hour to 12-hour? Okay. VET BTC. Let's see. VET BTC. I guess I'll go Binance on this one. 4-hour to 12-hour. Okay, that's an interesting overlay there. We do have an uptrend here over a long period of time, but then we pull it back on out and go fuck yourself, VET. Fucking some sort of Chinese bullshit coin, I believe it is. Is this one going to follow the rest of the market? Likely yes. Okay, look, it's everything's kind of getting its chance to rally in the sun right now. But is this something that should be considered relatively strong within the context of this general market? No, absolutely not. So it's going to go up here. Extremely likely, it's going to go up. 150 satoshis to 200 satoshis. Very, 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 very likely. If you can even get above this prior high at about 200 satoshis, I'd be looking at that as a mega bullish signal. Yes, but when you have a plethora of different shitcoins to choose from, there's no real reason to choose something like this when you have things that are like actually acting well. So again, I would be bullish on this thing. Short term, is it bullish? No, not really. Short term probably does come back down to like 100 satoshis, but it's got a golden cross on the daily. I mean, it's very likely to trade up here. It's very likely to trade up, and we do see higher lows on the weekly as well. It's just a laggard, is what I'm trying to say. It's just a laggard, obviously. Okay, Ethereum USD 4 hour. We already kind of looked at that one, but we can go back to the 4 hour specifically. 4 hour looks like a little bit of downside to me, but again, if Bitcoin pulls through here to the upside, I'd imagine the 4 hour just puts in a higher low. Do we have any sort of divergences potentially building? We do, but it needs to confirm a higher low right here. So how would it confirm a higher low? It needs to close above the 10 simple in this case. I'd be a little more conservative with this one, just because, and I want to see 4 hour Stokes turn back up as well. Keep in mind, we do have this trend line coming in from the last couple of lows from late February, early March, and that'd be a little bit lower. It would imply a little bit more downside. So if this thing does fail to put in a higher low right around the 20-minute exponential average, I would be looking a little bit further south towards about 1680 to 1690-ish region and probably bounce there and then come back to it after that. Umet Int says, hello, sir. Could you please check out Kusama coin, KSM, good sir. All right, KSM, no base pairing on this one. I'm going to go with USD because why the hell not? And we'll go to, I guess, Binance. I guess fucking Binance. No time frame as well. Jesus Christ, man. All right, well, I'm flying blind on this one, but pretty damn good chart. Yeah, pretty damn good chart for the history that we do have. I'll be looking for new all-time highs on this one. This one does actually have a formation going on right here. A little bit of a reaccumulation. Again, what do you want to call this one? Do you want to call it a cup and handle? Do you want to call it some sort of a flying W? Do you want to just call it reaccumulation? I think that's a little more appropriate in this case. And we can make a measure move on this one. I'd be looking for a move back up to like 350 to 360-ish region. Looks good to me. Continuation very likely implied. There you go, sir. There you go. Let's see. Jay Burden says, Digibyte. Oh, this is going to be good. Digibyte. Oh, my fucking God. Digibyte. Whoops, that's Singapore dollar. DGB USD. So this one, to give a little bit of color on this was very popular, very fucking popular back in 2017. Let's see where it's gone thus far. Hey, what the hell? This is not right. Oh, that's because we only got history till 2019. Hold on. We need to really actually look at this one because I know that is, God damn it, I did it again. I know that is not the full extent of that. Fuck. Oh, it's probably not going to have, it's probably going to have history for the US dollar pairing. That's right. Maybe over here, maybe. Let's see. I'd really want to see it like way the fuck back because it should be going back past 2017. Because what I want to show is that this one's in a long-term downtrend as well. But it is joining the short-term rally. To be fair, it's getting accumulated right here at the 51, or sorry, not 51, but 5.5 cent. No, not 5.5. About 5 cent region. So if I did see another move back down to like 5 cents, I'd look at that as an opportunity. Ultimately, I'd be looking for medium and long term to trade back up towards 8 cents and beyond. This one's going to join the rest of the market, of course. I wish that we could see the full history of this, but I suppose we'd have to go to a Bitcoin pairing to get that, and that's going to be absolutely abysmal, I'd imagine. So fair enough. Gets to join the rest of the market in this nice melt up phase, but I would like to show that it's actually not relatively strong. Unfortunately, it looks like we don't have the data for that right now. So I'm just going to hold on to my beliefs no matter what. Hey, thanks for that, Mike Sanja. But feel free to have a message, man. Decred, please, sir. All right, so this is probably going to be the last one for the day, seeing as it's almost gym time. In fact, it is gym time. 1 hour and 30 minutes into this. All right, DCR, no base pairing, so I'm going to go with DCR USD then. Curious what this looks like on, I suppose Binance or Bittrex going to be the ones to be going with this. Pretty fucking good here on Binance. New all-time highs, very, very likely to make new all-time highs. I mean, this one's obviously in a breakout right now. I'd say it's one of the more strong ones as far as the history that we can see here. Short term, if it does have a pullback to like 164.5 or 160, I'd look at that as an opportunity. Ultimately, this one's very likely to make new all-time highs. Clear what's it called, ascending triangle right here, and that could have a nice little measure move to the upside. And just kind of visualizing it, I don't know, 135 between 165. I'd say about $200 where I'd be looking for on this one, give or take a few bucks from that region. What's up, Yasik? I see you, Mr. Yasik. And Charlie fucking Tunes. Talk about OGs of the cave, man. This is amazing right now. MVT signal saying anything right now. I actually don't look at this MVT signal at all anymore. I just haven't found it to be consistent enough over a long period of time. I've actually let go of it a couple years ago in 2019, in fact. Okay, and you want to look at Euro versus Thailand bot? Sure, man. All right, this is gonna be the last of the last one for the old OG, Mr. Charlie Tunes, and which I guess we can go Saxo here. Why not go Saxo? Nice professional exchange for 4x. Well, Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so Euro's actually getting fucking crushed versus this thing. Do I think it's in a bit of reversal going on right here? It does look like it is actually having a few signals of reversal. You know, if this one was going to put in a lower high on the weekly, I would be looking for it to actually have come down on this leg right here. For this one to put in a higher low right here alongside, actually no divergences to be fair. So there is still a little bit of a downside case, but ultimately I think that this one very likely does try and move back up towards $38. I do think that this is kind of reversing right here, to be honest with you. Let's go to a monthly for a second. Same thing on the monthly. Yeah, monthly a lot more obvious here. Yeah, I'd be looking for upside here. I do think that we have seen the lows at least for this this segment thus far. Hey, thanks for that, Mac. Holy shit, man. Wow, damn, man. That's very generous. Thank you. God damn, man. I hope that you have the best day as well, man. Massive thank you for that. Okay, let's start to wrap this bitch up. Let's go over here, set up these charts. We can go. Let's actually go to the fresh one that we just did today. Pretty damn simple stuff today, actually. Very, very clean and clear. Good. We'll go over here for this one, and yeah, we can just start it off right here. Why the hell not? Alrighty, Bitcoin on the monthly once again closed above the topside trend band, of which that did set in the bias for this month to make new all-time highs, of which I believe we are in motion for that pretty much right now. On top of that, we do see on a secondary chart several bullish signals that are following through over the last week or so that we've been documenting with the daily, 2-day, and 3-day. Starting off with the daily right here, we do see Bitcoin is retesting the prior Trollinger Band high. More importantly, this is coming alongside of a bullish MACD cross, alongside a break of the 20-7 moving average. So we have breakage of structure plus momentum turning up, plus hidden bullish divergence on our daily MACD histogram right here. So all of those things combined with each other very likely does lead for Bitcoin to have another melt-up phase. Obviously, the interplay between the 55 and the bottom side Trollinger Band playing into that narrative as well, as we do see anytime that it does have the bullish cross with the 55 crossing above the top bottom side Trollinger Band here, we do see that leads into the next sort of melt-up phases, like what we saw right here, like what we saw right here, and like what we saw way the fuck back on over here too, throughout all of these markups after nice little accumulations on the lows. So with all of that in mind, I actually do look at Bitcoin more or less bullish on the higher term timeframes. Obviously, ADX DMI is falling through in that same bullish signal that we identified a few days ago as well, and very similar to the signals that we've seen in the past right here in February on this markup. Same on this one right here. Pretty much the same things on the Trollinger Bands and right here as well, from about 11,000 to 20,000 bucks. And then on top of that, if we go to the 2-day and 3-day, we are seeing follow through on that. I'd say the next biggest or most important thing to happen on a secondary charts from that can happen as early as tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time on closure would be 2-day MACD crossing the upside, which would be very likely accompanied by maybe even a retest of the topside Trollinger Band, maybe even new all-time highs on top of that. So if we go down to the lower term timeframes, or actually we should follow up on the 3-day. 3-day is just following through on the bullish signals as well. So cool, again, just following up on this. Topside Trollinger Band is currently at about 61,000 bucks. Now we can make a bit of an extension here to kind of drive the next upside trajectory targets, of which I am looking at this essentially as a reaccumulation right here. We do have that nice higher low structure. It is accompanied by hidden bullish divergences, exactly what you would expect, and that would be in line with a measured move towards a 3.618 right around about 69,000 bucks. So ultimately, if Bitcoin does break above the 2.618, which is the current high at about 58,000 bucks, especially on a higher term time from like a daily, 2-day, 3-day closure, any one of those is fine. I would be looking for Bitcoin to just kind of melt its way up to that next proverbial target in the deeper $6,000 region. We'll just call it 69,000 bucks. This is also in line with what we see on short-term timeframes over here, taking a Fibonacci extension from this consolidation range, which we do see a similar sort of narrative perpetuated back around here towards a 2.272 on a more recent consolidation. So it is good to see that those two things do line up with each other. So two different modes having influence, typically good. And in this case right here, it should be notified that on the lower term timeframes, I think that there's a little bit of a threat of a pullback? Perhaps yes. I mean, we did play out a little bit of bearish divergence right here, but I think that the easy part of that move is already played out to the 10 simple. It's really not anything too aggressive, but I do think that it is worth mentioning that all lower term timeframes like 4, 3, 2, and 1 hourly are all kind of slinking down there, pointed southwards on our momentum oscillator. So I'm a little bit, I suppose if you put a gun to my head and said, Krown, call it right now, is Bitcoin going to pull back on the short term timeframes? I really wouldn't have a good answer for you, to be honest with you. It's the higher term timeframes that I feel a lot more confident about right now. But if Bitcoin did want to play a pullback to the 21, certainly not out of the question. I think what's more important though is giving a bias changer for that region, which would quite literally just be right here around the 786 Fibonacci retracement for essentially the top side of the accumulation zone. So as long as Bitcoin's above there, I just generally have a bullish look on it. That also does mean that if Bitcoin, or I'm bullish on all time frames. Now, if Bitcoin does break below this level, even just a wick below it would actually be kind of nasty right there. But especially a closure on a 2-hour or 4-hour, or basically any time frame really, I'd be looking for another run back down to the 0.5 region around the 200 simple, which is about $49,000. So that actually would be quite the move right there, about 2 to 3,000, or about $3,000, yeah, from that signal trigger. And I'd be looking at that as another opportunity to be fair, as this is still, more or less bullish on the whole. Should also be notified that the weekly looking good here, weekly having hidden bullish divergence. I'd say, that's very much been confirmed by taking out last week's high. And typically this sort of signal does lead into new all-time highs. On top of that, we do see that the 2-day having a fresh cross the upside and the 3-day having a fresh cross the upside, again, as well as holding the bullish control zone does essentially just make me bullish on all higher term timeframes. So if I, again, at the end of the day, I am looking for essentially continuation on Bitcoin to the upside, to the deeper $6,000 targets probably the next few weeks here. Short term, if it wants to play out a pullback, that's fine. Anything above 52,500 is just inconsequential. I look at that as pretty much irrelevant for the medium and higher term timeframes, only relevant for the short term timeframes. And even as it is right now, I mean, if you see Bitcoin put in another higher low right here, we will have hidden bullish divergence on the other side. Well, actually, no, we won't have hidden bullish divergence on the other side. Sorry, I scratched that. But what I would say is, a little bit of sideways here, and then probably does set it up for a breakout maybe later this week or early next week, so to speak, especially on this expanding historical volatility percentile read, of which we did identify that was coming into an apex into this week and now actually playing out. So not bad on that one, as that is lining up with this current expansion, which in this case, expansion would come with more upside biases. So with that said, I do want to wish you the best and the happiest of the happiest. I'm going to be signing off now. Got to go lift things up and put them down, I suppose. Going to be back on later, maybe playing some Resident Evil if you happen to give a fuck about that. Fun times, and scaring the shit out of Elsa is always a favorite pastime of mine. So, hey! Anyways, with that said, I salute you all. Take care, and